Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Feel Good Fridays. Coming live straight at you from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's your hosts, Paulie and Bags. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Feel Good Fridays. I'm Paulie.
I'm Bags.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by a fantastic leader out of Butler, Pennsylvania, Mr. Shawn Carney. Shawn, thank you for joining the show.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Hey, Paul, before we do that, I guess the check cleared finally.
Yeah.
So, as you all know, we've been kind of burned a few times, but it is a Feel Good Friday, and typically the checks go through on Friday, so thanks for joining us. Thank goodness that check cleared. So,
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get right into it, Bags. What are we going to talk about?
yeah, today, friends, we're going to talk about skip-level meetings. And Shawn, why are skip-level meetings important as a leader?
You know, and it's a great question because when you think about different leadership styles and whatnot, in many organizations there's different levels of leadership.
Yep.
And sometimes if you want to get down to the grassroots of things, so to speak, sometimes you got to go down a level and really just get a good understanding what's going on within your organization to get a pulse for how are things being received. How are your leaders doing with their leaders? And it just really gives you a clear picture as you're a leader of a major organization.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that, Shawn, because I think the higher up you get, the more people there are, the less you can actually see people every single day. So I think it's a great idea just to really, like you said, get that pulse. Is my direction going to my leaders, is that getting implemented in the field, or is there a disconnect there? So it's also like inspecting what you expect as well. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, spot on. Inspect what you expect is very crucial to any leader in any organization. So, Shawn, how do we kind of get these rolling? Walk us through some best practices on how we can implement skip-level meetings.
Paul, I think you can do it many different ways. I do it a couple different ways. One, you can do the traditional schedule it out, calendar it out with the team. And I think you get, some more planned responses from the folks that you're going to talk to. So it gives them a little bit of time to think about what you want to cover or what they want to cover with you. Honestly, sometimes I just, we all have windshield time in a lot of our jobs that we do on a day in and day out basis. And I like to just, call people on the fly. So you have the planned meetings, one-on-one, and then also you have that, one-on-one on the fly type meetings, and you really do find out a lot about your leadership team by just having those discussions on the fly. The other thing, you can skip level town halls. You can do those types of things with your organization. And when you do that, you really do get some synergy in a room. Sometimes good, sometimes, there's always going to be some negative feedback within a work group. And you get some juices flowing in that room, and you do learn a lot. And I think ultimately in the end, when you do all of those things, it just really creates a cohesive, tight-knit group, improves morale, and then you're able to take back some of that information to your team and say, here's what the team's saying out there in the field, and then you can form a game plan and go after how you correct it. And or sometimes it might just be great. Maybe there's no corrections needed, but how do we positively influence when things are going great, and you can implement some more positive things, in addition to, I call it the icing on the cake. So the cake's baked, so then you can add that icing and do some different stuff there. So
Eat the cake. Now, a lot of great points, and thank you so much for sharing. Two things I took away from that, folks, is make sure that you calendar the time, right? Get it on the books. That way you can ensure that it happens, A, and then B, get some pre-planned responses, and then on the fly, right? I think calling just in the moment when you have a free, 5-10 minutes, calling, those associates just to see how their day's going is pretty impactful.
Yeah, I'd even say too, it's easier just to sit behind that computer, send an email, and it's like, just pick up the phone, right? I agree. If you see something that might not be right, the quickest way to find out what might be going on is just to pick up the phone, get a pulse of what's going on there, so that way you can either help course correct it or get their perspective and say, what do you think we can do, right? Again, that leadership aspect of it.
Yeah, and a lot of times, you may want to introduce new ideas to your organization. An idea, a thought, a process. Sometimes when you introduce new ideas and you can socialize it with the group ahead of time, when you go and introduce it to the masses, it's much more well received. So there's a lot of benefits to the skip level conversations that will pay off long run.
Awesome.
Well, look, folks, that was a fantastic dissertation by our fearless leader, Shawn Carney. We do appreciate you joining the show today. And
Thanks for
folks,
having me.
if you missed any of our previous pods, please check us out on our YouTube channel at Feel Good Fridays. Or if you're on the go, you can now listen to us on the iHeartMedia app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Bags, what do we have in store for us next?
So believe it or not, unless our bank account's dry, we should have our second guest next week. We're going to talk about leading remotely. I think that's and it's vital, especially with what happened over the last 2 to 3 years in everyone's business, to be able to lead remotely and effectively. So we're going to have another special guest joining us. So please do tune in and check us out.
Awesome. With that, that's a wrap for today. And like always, take care.
And brush your hair.
Thank you for tuning in to Feel Good Fridays. If you want to stay up to date with our podcast releases and upcoming material, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. I'll wait. You didn't do it yet. Go ahead. I'm still waiting. Did you do it? Definitely check us out on our TikTok for special announcements and possible giveaways. Both can be found by searching at Feel Good Fridays Podcast. Thank you, and make it a great day.